There's been so much talk around this Kyrie Irving trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm kind of getting tired of it. By now, this Kyrie Irving trade to the Lakers is beat over the head. I am almost tired of hearing it. Now, I am going to talk about what they also have to do with the Kyrie Irving trade to make sure that they're title contenders. Sometimes just getting that one player is not going to do it. But there's also 3 other trades that I think are way better for the Los Angeles Lakers to actually be contenders. Now, I did a video on this just a little bit ago. I'm going to go through some of your comments, some of my subscribers' comments, and we're going to dissect some of these other trades that are out there that I feel are way better. I am your NBA white guy. I talk all things NBA hoops from a hooper's perspective. Now, I've played basketball my entire life, all the way up through collegiate level, and the people that sit behind desk or that comment on this stuff have never dribbled a basketball. So if you like that type of content, then make sure you tap that subscribe button and you click the bell so you're notified every time I do a new video. Let's talk about these 4 trades real quick. Obviously, you've got trade number 1, which is Kyrie Irving to the Los Angeles Lakers. You're going to have to give up the 2 first-round picks and obviously offload Westbrook. This is a trade that makes the Lakers immediately better, but it's still a little bit iffy as Kyrie's only on a 1-year deal. The next trade number 2, comes in with the Pacers. So the Pacers, you may not have to give up both of the first-round picks, just one, but that's going to land you Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Now, one of the comments said, hey, we just landed a stretch forward, 6'10", and Bryant. What do we need Miles Turner for? That's a great point. Again, comment down below your thoughts on these trades. Trade number 3 is a 3-teamer with the Knicks and the Jazz, right? So this means that Russell Westbrook is actually going to go to Utah for the buyout. Utah is absolutely on a crash course of just selling off the farm. So they have all these players. They want to get a bunch of draft picks. This works for them because they can land those 2 draft picks from the Lakers. Donovan I said Donovan McNabb last time, and I got blown up in the comments. Hey, this is why you comment on it. Donovan Mitchell will go over to the Knicks. I don't know how that's going to work. You just got Brunson over there. You paid him $100 million. Now you got 2 tiny dudes. From a Hoover's perspective, that's just like 2 small guards in today's NBA. Ain't going to work. But LA would get Clarkston from the Utah Jazz. So I do love Clarkston coming back. He showed his numbers in the postseason last year. He went from about 35% from 3 all the way up to almost 40%, averaged 3 more points a game, and went up to 90% free throws. So in the postseason, the dude was killer. I love that. But the best trade that I found was trade number 4. Now, this is a complete overhaul of the Lakers. You're going to give those 2 first-round draft picks. You're going to give up Talen Horton-Tucker, the THT, and you're going to send, obviously, Russell Westbrook over to Utah. In return, you get Conley, 41% from 3-point line. The other thing is he played 75 games last year, so he stays healthy. Bogdonovich, 18 points a game, almost 40% shooting, 6'8". Pat Bev, we got to have a dog on this team. I don't care what the Lakers do. They do not have that dog right now. They need a and there's actually Marcus Morris or Markieff Morris. I can't remember which one of them. The Twins is a free agent right now. Comment down below which one is. I can't remember. He's a dog. I love that dude. And then Jordan Clarkston. So those are your 4 options. So I want to jump over to the screen real quick because I'm going to show one of these comments that came up from you guys, and I absolutely love it. And before I get to that, if you have a trade request that I haven't talked about, make sure that you're commenting down below so that everybody else can see it. And I'll shoot videos talking about your trade. So I'm going to go over to the comments real quick. As you can see here, and I can't pronounce your name, sorry, but it's Dorji right here. He says, give the 2 first-round picks for Irving to be contenders. LA gets Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry. Okay. Brooklyn gets Heild, Turner, and Kendrick Nunn. I don't like losing Kendrick Nunn. And Indiana gets Westbrook, the 2 first-rounders from the Lakers. I love and I hate this trade. You're losing out on Kendrick Nunn. He's very cheap right now. It gives the Lakers a whole lot of opportunity. I got a video that I got coming out here pretty soon where I'm going to talk about his highlight. He is a defensive stretching player. If you've never played hoops, you don't understand it. You're only going to look at shooting percentages and stuff. But if you actually watch Kendrick Nunn play in 2020, especially in the bubble against the Lakers, went off for 30 points. The Lakers were having, as soon as he crossed half court, they were having to play him. They had Alex Caruso back then. He was playing line 6-7 feet past the three-point line. This brings out the pick and roll. This brings out the defense. It is massive for a LeBron James offense to be able to get that defense to come way out. I love having Kendrick Nunn be able to catch and shoot, dribble, shoot, and he can dribble, drive, and make shots too, but he shoots almost 40%. So losing Kendrick Nunn for almost free, I wouldn't like that. But getting Seth Curry. Now, I do like getting Seth Curry if you can get the Kyrie Irving. Everybody's talking just Kyrie Irving, but if you can land Seth, obviously he's an absolute knockdown shooter. The thing that people don't get, the #1 defender in the entire NBA against Steph Curry is Seth Curry. They've come out and they've talked about it. He knows all his moves. I actually was at Game 7, Portland Trailblazers versus the Warriors 3 years ago, going into the championship, the Western Conference, and Seth Curry was giving Steph some problems. And then I remember hearing an interview after that talking about how Seth Curry just knows what Steph's going to do, gets into him. So as we have to go face the Warriors to get through the West, now you've got little brother there pestering big brother. I love getting that, but I don't know if you would get Seth as well. So there's a couple more comments in here from you guys that I love as well. So again, make sure you're commenting. This one comes in from Thunder. Thank you, Thunder. I'd change the 4th trade up a little bit. So a lot of people are agreeing this 4th trade that I propose is the best, but we don't need Clarkston. He had a good postseason, but in general, he ain't a good shooter, and also he's a bad defender. Conley being a bad contract should be able to save us a first-round pick, so I'd just give up 1 for Conley, Bev, and Bohan. I like Bogdanovich, coming too, but then trade THT for Mo Bamba. Bamba is a cheaper alternative to Turner. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I do agree with the Clarkston thing, and I kind of flipped it the other way when I was talking about Clarkston, because when did he get hot? In the postseason. That's a lot better than the opposite, right? I am so tired of these players who just kill it all season long, but when they get into the playoffs, they shrink, right? And I don't like to just crap on players when they do that. There's so much pressure to it, and now you're stretching an 82-game season into 90, 100, which is why LeBron playing in like 9 straight, 10 straight finals is just absurd. The dude is a machine and an absolute goat of all goats. But when you talk about a player who now lives up to the big moment, that's where I do like a Clarkston, and Clarkston can be somebody who comes off the bench and gets you buckets. So he's a depth player and somebody that would be very good in the postseason. But I do agree that if you can get Conley, who's obviously a great shooter, and Bogdanovich, that is so hard to say, another great shooter, but these are players that are going to stretch the floor. I love it. Mo Bamba though, he would be good to be in there again, especially if you're playing in the West against some of these bigger players. And if you got to go in the East, if you're going to play the Bucks, or you're going to play Philly, or somebody who's got one of these massive players, or even in the West, if you got to go up against Phoenix again and go against Ayton, he's a big time player. And here's the thing, 2 years ago in the playoffs, the Lakers were absolutely toying with and teasing the Suns. Like, they were beating them down mentally and physically, and then Anthony Davis got hurt and they ended up losing. But everybody wants to forget that. From a Hooper's perspective, when I was watching it, they had him beat, and the Suns were fearful of it. And so obviously AD going down just kills them, and they lost all momentum. But there was talks of like, this is embarrassing, the Suns are terrible, but yet Anthony Davis gets hurt. So I do like this trade that that Thunder talked about, but the Mo Bamba thing, I'm not quite sure on that one. Let's get to another one here from Kay. I like this. The 4th trade, we would have a lot of guards, and we have Kendrick Nunn, who can get you 17 a night and a shooter. So I say get Pat Bev and Bogdanovich and Jordan Clarkston. So yeah, that's just getting the 3. Again, maybe one of these trades you wouldn't have to give both picks up. That might be nice, which is what Genie Bus does not want to do. But I do love getting Pat Bev. I think we have to get him just regardless, because we need that dog in the locker room more than anything. And last but not least, this one comes up, and I want you guys to comment down below. There's a lot to this, and there's a few different comments in here. We could get this roster. So Turner, AD, LeBron, Richardson from the Spurs, and then Conley, Davis, Bryant, Bogdanovich, Walker, and Nunn. It's possible to try and work out how this trade could be done in a 4-team deal that each team would do if it's possible. So hence the Spurs and the Indiana Pacers rebuild, Utah staying good. He goes on to talk about this, but do you think there's a way that you can get a 4-team trade going? Comment down below. 4-teamers, I mean, even 3-teamers are confusing enough. I still believe the best trade available is the one with Utah, where you can get all 4 of those players. Bogdanovich Bogdanovich is 6'8", can shoot the lights out. Now, coming from a hooper's perspective, you have to think of a few things. If you just land the one player, then you have no bench. You have no depth. I am absolutely just over this mega team thing. It is destroying the NBA. Now, the ratings are up. It's great for ratings, and even the quality of the picture, the games, I love it. But I'm just talking about from like a Lakers standpoint and from LeBron winning more championships, it's killing him. You could have last year had Buddy Hield and DeMar DeRozan, and you chose Westbrook. What are you thinking? Like, DeRozan's an absolute walking bucket, and they say, oh, the mid-range game, all the analytics has gone. The dude was one of the top scorers in the entire NBA, and he's a mid-ranger, but he's an excellent, defender as well. But then you got Buddy Hield stretching the floor. What you have to do in a LeBron James offense is be able to hit shots, right? This is the key to everything. The other thing about a LeBron James offense is you need people that the defense has to watch. If you don't have to worry about any other player out there, then you can pack the paint. LeBron's best teams that he ever had, he had big time shooters out there, and that left single defensive coverage on him. It left the pick and roll with just one dude. And if LeBron gets you to his shoulder, this is the same thing with me when I play college. If I can get you to my shoulder, I can get downhill. It's going to collapse the whole defense. Then we can kick and get the shots, or you're going up, contested with just one player. So that's the things that you have to realize. Now, last year, they just literally sat in the paint, said, come on, LeBron, and he still scored 30.3 points a game. So imagine if the dude actually had some players and shooters, and his assists were down last season. I wonder why. They shot like negative 40% from three. And the other thing we have to do is we got to get more depth. We got to get way more bench, because Anthony Davis cannot play. Well, he hasn't shown to play more than 35% of the games this year. And like I mentioned in my video, and you guys were all commenting, he's got these shoes about this big. I do not understand why you play with shoes that small. I had horrific ankles all through high school and college. Now I really started taping them up. I actually started playing with LeBron's, the high tops. Hey, AD, your boy LeBron has some killer high tops that you don't even have to break in. Start wearing those. You're going to protect your ankles, but the problem is he's banging down low, playing that 5 spot. He doesn't want to, but he is an aggressive player when he plays, and he's getting hurt way too much. So we got to get players that can give these people a breather and not lose leads. That's the other aspect of this. All of these players that you bring in, LeBron can take a breather, and you can actually continue to at least hold the lead, or at least hold. If you're down by 2 points or something, you can hold that, right? You're not just, okay, LeBron, we're down 15, go do your thing again. Comment down below what trade you would like, and if I haven't said one yet, make sure you're commenting so that we can talk about these trades that the Los Angeles Lakers can make to be title contenders. And I am your NBA white guy. I talk all things hoops from a hooper's perspective, and if you like that, I'm somebody who doesn't hide behind the screen and hide behind videos. I am face front talking all things basketball, and I love it. So make sure that you tap that subscribe button if you like that kind of content, and you click the bell so you never miss any of these videos. And until the next video, we'll catch you later.